What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all so much for watching. Remember to like and share this video. We'll greatly appreciate it. My special guest today, a woman that wears so many hats, somebody who I love, I admire. It's been about 2 years of negotiating of us finally sitting down, but without any further ado, the Chris Gunther Show welcomes Miss Chanel Dior. What up with you?
What's up?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thanks for having me.
Nah, no problem. Thank you, because we finally are sitting down after.
Sitting down.
Yeah, it's been a while, but It's all good. Let's get right into it. You are here at the Youngstown Business Center. How did this whole entire place, how did you become affiliated with it?
So with past events that I have done in the community, I had the Black Business Expo, one of the first, and then I had a small business expo the following year. And then I guess my name was just mentioned in the community through a few good fellow men and women. And so then I kind of had an interview and just wanted to hear out the owner's visionary process of what he wanted this building to become.
How did that meeting go? Well, the interview, how'd the interview go for you?
It was great. Like, of course, it was almost like a regular just showing of the building. And then the owner just kind of wanted to know, what could I become of Youngstown Event Center? And I just felt like, hey, put anything into practice, you can make anything happen. And so just based off of my past experience with booking different artists in the city, as well as doing my small expos itself, I felt like this would be a perfect fit for me to grow and stretch my wings and helping the community and refocusing the community's agenda, I guess you could say, because a lot of people I feel like were lost in doing big things instead of small things. And so it took me some time to get some momentum, but it worked. And so that was just how I became affiliated. It's just hearing one person's vision and running with it.
How have you helped elevate this place?
Consistency, knowing that there is no perfect thing that you can do, but you strive for perfection every single day. And I think that's how I help elevate it. It's just hitting the pavement, allowing people to understand that, hey, we have an event center right here in the city of Youngstown, and you don't have to go elsewhere to have an event. It's like 3 minutes from downtown.
I remember a few years ago, whenever I would drive past this place, it seemed kind of vacant. And if it wasn't vacant, I'm sorry, but that's just my perception of it. But then when you jumped on board, I started seeing Wild and Out events. I started seeing small business expos. I started seeing the place, in a sense, become vibrant. Was that something that you look back over and say, wow, I'm glad I was able to help us get this place back running again?
Yes. So yes, this was possible, probably prior to it becoming Youngstown Event Center. It was the Jehovah's Witness building. The owners bought it, and it was just kind of like, okay, what do we do with this space? You can have it do anything that you really want, but the owner's vision was really to focus on community events, especially within our African American community as well as our Caucasian community. What can we bring together as a hub, whether it be business, whether it be expos, whether it be dinners, whether it be parties, whether it be showcases, family reunions. We've had all types of things here. So I just really took my time and let people know, hey, with the help of the team that is with me as well, we're here to service our community.
What made you decide to go into business for yourself?
So I was working for a well-known company inside of the city of Youngstown, and due to a personal matter, I needed to take some time off. I had been working for the company probably about 5 to 6 years, and when that time came, it was kind of like they were nonchalant about me taking time off. And so I said to myself, do I continue to put my all into a place who doesn't care about me, or do I venture out and make sure that as a business owner, I don't portray that type of energy to my employees? And so that's what really made me just step out on faith and be like, okay, I'm done with this arena. I think I've learned everything I can learn here, which they taught me a lot. And now I'm here doing various things in the city of Youngstown.
Let's hit on that for a second, because I believe you own 6 businesses. I'm gonna try my best to name all 6.
Okay.
So we have here, we have hair, we have nails, we have the vape shop. Out of the last 2, I want to say one of them is a booking agency some type of way.
Yes.
And the other one is real estate?
Yes.
I got all 6.
You got all 6. Good
I do
job.
my research.
So, anything that has to do with events has, the other side, which is beauty. And so I started in 2012, really trying to expound myself. And so I went to school. I was already going to YSU, but it just didn't seem like it was going fast enough for me. So I took some time off and I went and got my cosmetology license in the state of Pennsylvania and then transferred to Ohio. And so I just, your exit strategy out of school, they want to know how will you provide for yourself. So it was to create my own makeup line. So I created my own makeup line called Shea Bella Cosmetics. And that was doing great while I was working where I was working at prior. And then I was like, okay, I think I can do this full time. And so that led from doing makeup, lashes, adding hair. And then, the boundaries were limitless after that. Once I got the protocol together for myself, it was kind of like, okay, I feel like I can expound.
What was it like for you when you first got started?
The community was very receptive. I was very surprised. I was very thankful that the community, decided to choose me. I mean, I was featured in the Buckeye Review. I was on WFMJ. Let's see, I've worked at some places at the Avalon Inn for, private customers, weddings, engagement parties. It was just really an amazing doorway to walk through.
Because originally, you're not necessarily from Youngstown, you're from Warren.
Right.
But how did you even come to Youngstown, period?
So I came to Youngstown because my aunt and my uncle go to Mount Calvary.
I know that church.
You know that church? And I just love that the Bishop Wagner, God rest his soul, he would say that Youngstown is where dreams came true. And so because this is a city of God per Bishop Wagner, it was embedded into me at a young age that if I could make it here, I could make it anywhere. And so that's how I became a part of hey, I want to grow and get myself grounded in Youngstown and develop the skills that I need to develop here before I get released into the world, pretty much.
You mentioned that the city was very receptive of you when you first got started, and they're still receptive of you now. As somebody that has been here a little while longer, the fact that people continue to be receptive to you, what does that make you feel like?
Honored. Thankful, because you can go to a place and, basically it's like, no one, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to get started, and so you're just kind of stagnant. But because the community was so receptive, it just allowed me to catapult into my destiny of being the businesswoman that I am, helping small businesses. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be chosen in the crowd, I guess you could say. Mentorship
is extremely critical and it's extremely key. Was there anybody that brought you under their wing as a mentor when you first got started?
I wouldn't say when I first got started. I would probably say right before the pandemic, which was amazing. I was in a awkward situation in my life and I was trying to find grounding. And so right before I came to Youngstown Event Center, it was almost like God was pushing me into this area, and then it was like the person who owned this building, he is very known in business, and so it was like sharpening, iron sharpens iron. And so him and his wife, really took the time to just, I feel like they mentor me, every day, every week, whatever the case may be, just by the things they say and then how they live their life, and it's just amazing to watch.
As somebody that is extremely known in the city, with everything comes something. The good comes bad. The happiness sometimes comes sorrow. How do you, two-part question. Number one, how do you handle the negativity that comes your way?
I pray a lot. And I try not to focus on that because I feel like people are going to be people. But if you're a natural born fighter, just because of personal things that I've had go on in my life, I was diligent in my walk. I don't think it could be a person that could break my spirit long as I stay prayed up. And people's words are just words, Are they gonna break me? No, because I know what I think of myself. I know what the word of God tells me. He says, I have plans to prosper you and not harm you, Jeremiah 29:11. So I went off of that principle alone. What does God think of me? Because men are carnal in their thoughts. So basically in 1 minute they could see you up and the next minute they can bash you with the same lips. So it's just like, okay, what does God think of me? And then I walk in that fullness.
How do you stay motivated?
I listen to a lot of motivational speaking. I speak a lot of the word of God over myself. And then, like I said, I'm a natural born fighter. So it's almost like a two-part thing. It's kind of like, oh, that's what you said? Oh, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. And that's just how I stay motivated.
In this area, there are so many Black entrepreneurs, particularly women, so many Black business women. You have yourself, you have Shalea Sanders, you have Brittany Bradley, you have so many of them. Just for you to even be amongst them, like, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel awesome because we all started, all around the same time. And it allows us to see our growth. It allows us to see, what we feel is necessary and what we feel is unnecessary. And we just walk in, okay, this is our lane. And we try to put our best foot forward in that lane. So when you become in the business, in any business arena, it doesn't matter, the cultural boundary. As a woman, you are always looked at, can you really do the job? And so as a woman, you have to work that much harder because not necessarily you're going to get the same pay as a man. I mean, that still happens. And so as a woman, it's just like you have to stand firm in what you believe in, and you got to, go 10 times harder just to compare to the expectations of what the world said.
Do you do your best not to compare yourself to anybody here? Because a lot of times that does happen.
Yes, I do. I do my very best not to compare myself to anything or anyone, simply because we're in a race of our own. And when you start comparing yourself, you defeat yourself. There is so many people in the world, and when you try to live up to this person's expectations versus the expectations you should just be living up for yourself, you find yourself falling. Sometimes you find yourself, okay, well, if this is the level of expectation and you feel that you can meet it. But if you feel like, okay, I still need time to get there, then do that. Don't just try to hurry up and force yourself, because if you don't learn the process, ultimately you'll fail.
If you could have some type of round table discussion with you and some other business owners, whether it be Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever the case is, in this area, who would you like to sit at the table with just to learn from?
Who would I like to learn from or sit at the table?
A little bit of both, because you can sit at the table and still learn from somebody.
Oh my gosh, there's so many people that Mrs. Page, Julius Oliver, the Wilsons, Dr. Farmer and her family. Gosh, there's like a lot of people. Brittany Bradley. It would be a lot of vast people. Aunt Bill and Lisette Elena. Like, there's so many people that have been influential. Joseph Napier, Chip Banks. Like, it just, the list goes on, because we all kind of started in the same vein. And to see after I would probably say almost maybe 10 years where we've come, it's amazing. Like, it wasn't easy, and it didn't happen in the blink of the eye. And I can say a lot of us probably had ups and downs and moments where we had to go back to the drawing board and recalculate our steps. Even watching your growth and how you've developed and how you've grown, like, it's amazing. Like, I sit back and I'm like, wow, that's dope.
Yeah, let's hit on that for a second, because, and I'm gonna reveal something on my show that only a very select few people know. I was really quiet and shy when me and Chanel first met. I was very quiet. I was very shy. I was doing an interview, I want to say it was with Eartha, at Brittany Bradley's Bees Boutique event. And I was kind of in the back setting up, and y'all was running late. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get this thing rolling. And this person decided to say, ain't nobody, well, why don't you go ahead and tell them what you told me?
Say, ain't nobody worried about you. Don't nobody know you, Chris Gunther. Chill.
And I was wondering, like, how come she said that? Because I'm like, wait a minute, they don't really know me on that kind of level. But in a sense, I think the reason why you did that, though, you were trying to get me to come out of that little shell and get me to come out of being that quiet person.
So I seen that even just from, we never met face to face. Like, I seen you as we were younger, growing up in the same church and things like that. But I seen the quiet, timid spirit, but I knew where you were trying to go. And I had to get you out of that, okay, I'm just gonna come in real, and I'm gonna just set up and then I'm gonna just lead. No, like, I want you to mingle. I want you to be open. I want you to enjoy what you do. And I want you to own that lane. And ever since saying that, you've done nothing but own that lane. So
And I
I'm
appreciate
happy
it.
for you to
I
do
appreciate it because after that, I was chopping it up with like Odell Beckham Jr., Baker Mayfield, MC Light, Just Hilarious. Just to name a few.
Just to name
Conversations
a
for a
few.
different day. And there is a lot of things coming up around here. There's no way I can have you here without mentioning this. So the Ohio Entertainment Awards is coming up. 35 out of the 50 nominees have come from Youngstown, Ohio, and somebody has been nominated for Businesswoman of the Year. Congratulations!
Thank you.
How does that feel for you to know that you've been nominated for such a prestigious award recognizing you throughout the state of Ohio?
I am glad to be a part of the many are called and few are chosen. It's an honor to, even be thought of and to be even put on the ballot. And it humbles me. Like, I try to stay as humble as possible because you never want to think higher than yourself than what you should. And so it's a humbling experience to know that, hey, like, somebody is back there watching and somebody sees the efforts in which I'm doing with inside of our community. And I'm appreciative because the nomination isn't even about me. It is about the cities that are surrounded, because not only have I touched Youngstown, I'm from Warren, I've touched Youngstown, Akron, Pennsylvania, which is Newcastle, Sharon, Farrell, Pittsburgh. So I've had my vast through the cities. And so I don't look at it as this is about me. I think if I were to win this is not think I would know this is just for the city. I was just the avenue that it could flow through. So I'm very appreciative of that.
You're also nominated in the same category as one of your best friends in Brittany.
Yes.
First of all, being best friends, that's a blessing. But to be up for the same thing, how great does that feel to know that two women that came from the same city, now we doing this together? Like, how does that even feel?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. I could even remember me and her did a snippet on your show. We did a segment together. The City.
Season 1.
Yes. And it's amazing because, again, like I said, when you sit back and you look at the growth. When Brittany first started her shop, cute pink boutique, and at the time I was living in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. I drove from Newcastle here and I was like, oh my gosh, I love your clothes. So I remember doing a photo shoot with Ronson McDowell, and that photo shoot attracted so much airways. I mean, no matter what it is, me and Brittany would sit at her glass table discussions in her boutique, and we would just talk about the dreams and the things that we would like to do moving forward. And I can say, between her and I both, we have accomplished those steps. And sometimes we're both like, how do we do this? Like, what? And it's amazing to be a part of that.
I love the genuine love that you have for her and the genuine love that you have for people in this city and, general. And even with that, though, you still have sometimes the feeling of being overlooked and not really getting recognized. Locally, how does that make you feel, though? Because sometimes you aren't as recognized as you should be, at least the way I personally feel.
It is humbling, and it's just kind of like somebody had to really home in and say, we don't do it for the recognition. We do it for the people. Regardless if you're recognized or not, that doesn't matter. What are you really doing it for? And so servitude, it taught me, regardless of people, like you, dislike you, whether they come sit at your table or don't sit at your table, you do it unto service. You don't do it unto, the selfishness of, oh, hopefully I'll be recognized, or, oh, I'll get this, or, oh, I'll get that. No, you do it regardless of what people say about you, treat you, think about you, because you just never know what genre I'm gonna fall into, and so they're still gonna have to cross my path. It doesn't matter. Like, I put my personal feelings aside.
That's something that a lot of people are trying their best to do. They're trying to get out of putting their personal feelings aside, still accomplish the job, and still make sure that at the end of the day, secure the bag. Is that the mindset that you feel? Actually, let me rephrase that. As a black woman, as a black business owner in the city of Youngstown, what is something that you hope that we can accomplish moving forward?
Running to social media to tell when you have an aunt about a business owner, or an aunt with a business. Because I feel like it is so prominent in African American communities that read all about it. And it's not a good look. I feel like you would talk to that business owner and you would allow that business owner to understand where you're coming from, just like you would write a customer service review for any business. Unless, sometimes, you got to out the person on social media. But And most times there's proper ways to go about things. And I just, I don't want people to be in that rat race of, I got to compare my business to this business because they're in the same lane. No, I don't care if you own a hair salon and I own the hair salon. It doesn't mean that, one is better than the other. So it doesn't mean that I have to compare myself to the instant gratification of social media to get clout or to, bash that person. Have that conversation with that business owner. Have those conversations at the roundtable discussions so that we as a people can grow as business owners and learn. Because, if you start a business in 1 year, to be honest, you don't know everything, because you have to learn, your customer service. You have to learn your client base. You have to learn, even just how to input your inventory. All those things you're trying to focus on to get your business running, and then to deal with the interaction of everyday people. It can be a lot. So I think that's something that I would love to see change, is that we really just sit down and talk to our business owners and allow them to either receive it and move forward.
What events do you have coming up that people can look forward to?
So we have on November 5th, we have a comedy show going on here at Youngstown Event Center. And then on the 21st, we have with Bread of Life, we have a Thanksgiving dinner that is open to the public that will be from 12 to 3 on that Saturday before Thanksgiving, which is November 21st. And so those are the two major things that we have going on in the month of November.
Before we get out of here, if anybody, two-part question. Number one, what do you want to be remembered for the most, particularly in this region?
My willingness to serve people in the community, in business, helping. Like, I've always been, I don't get paid for what I do. Like, I go to small business and I see, like, I can remember Brittany was like one of my first test subjects, and it was just kind of like, how can I help open up your doors? How can I help with doing what needs to be done? And she was receptive. And so, I still find myself in that same type of thing. It's just like, I don't get a lot of recognition, and I'm fine with that, but just let me help you if you say that I can help. And if not, I'm cool with that too, because now my plate is like way overloaded after years of paving the way for myself. But it's just, I would want to be known for my servitude.
If anybody wanted to connect with you or learn more about you, how can they do that?
You can email me at bookingchaneldior@gmail.com, or you can call my cell phone 330-766-9731. And you can, just have a personal, one-on-one consultation with me about what you would like to do and how you would like to move forward.
Nothing else needs to be asked. Congratulations again on your nomination.
Likewise.
Thank you kindly. Be sure you guys like and share this video. Chanel Dior on the Chris Gunther Show. Cue my theme song. See y'all next time. Gotta go.